Hello, and welcome to Replay Value. Legend of the Galactic Heroes is one of two space epics that come to mind when I think of anime. And since I spoke about LOGH for AniTube Anthology number 5, AniTubers in Space, I figured I should speak about the other over on my channel, Space Battleship Yamato. It was convenient timing since I was watching the new Yamato 2202 series as I was writing my piece about the historic nature of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. And that disconnect between the classic and fresh coat of paint couldn't have been more striking. Mostly because if you were to ask me which versions I'd recommend, I'd say the original Legend of the Galactic Heroes is the superior version, even just for the material that the new thesis has readapted so far, and that Space Battleship Yamato 2199 was the obvious choice for the adventures of Kodai and crew. The main point in this discrepancy is that what each series is trying to convey through its story and how it goes about telling it is fundamentally different and therefore better served by different ways of showing it. And that, in the case of Space Battleship Yamato 2199, is because as an action-packed adventure to save the Earth, the better production values of the modern era service the excitement and grand nature of the series far better than the classic does. Before we jump into that specifically though, let's start with a little thought experiment. What is the fundamental difference in what the combat scenes are trying to convey between Legend of the Galactic Heroes and Space Battleship Yamato? In the former, I'd argue that they're mainly set pieces for the larger struggle between commanders serving empires, a chessboard expanded to its logical extreme that serves primarily as the watershed moment. Where beforehand we learned what was on the line for all parties involved, what this battle would mean for them on an individual, strategic, and national level, and where afterwards the chessboard is cleared and we learn about the impact that this has had on the next battlefield, the ambitions on both sides, and how this small moment could change everything. All things considered, the battles are just a means to an end, just to get to the next status quo in the political drama. In Space Battleship Yamato, the space battles are kind of the whole point. At its core, it's an action-adventure show, and better action set pieces are intrinsically important to that genre. They're launching planet bombs from Pluto? Better go there and destroy it in a sequence that will take most of the episode with a bombastic score and have it be totally awesome. We're stuck between a sun and a bunch of ships? Better launch the giant laser through the sun so that we can escape. Sure, it's all in service of getting to Iskandar, but rarely does the combat have a purpose outside of trying to make it one step closer, and even less frequently does it have any larger meaning for the characters outside of their shared desire to save the Earth. So to conclude the question, which series is better served from visual spectacle? It has to be Yamato. And I think Legend of the Galactic Heroes is better served by downplaying the combat scenes, and focusing instead on the reactions of commanders as they make strategic moves. It feels more like the historical record that way. Not only that, but because LOGH's locations are similar in feel to Earth's, there's less of a need for the visual wow of Heinessen, for example. Alternatively, Space Battleship Yamato is far more fantastical, with alien homeworlds that seemingly break the laws of physics, faster than light travel, a place between dimensions. Yamato benefits greatly from seeing these worlds come to life in front of our eyes, and the benefit of modern animation tools create some really impressive images. I think this fundamental difference in the type of story being told, a political drama versus an action-adventure series, results in this difference. Because while Production IG's The New Thesis maintains some of the political elements, it feels far more focused on the spectacle of combat than its forebearer. Yamato, on the other hand, feels good with its fresh coat of paint, since it was always more focused on spectacle and fantastical scenes and locations. It's not that Yamato doesn't deal with any deeper stuff. One of the best episodes is a question about what it means to be alive, straight from Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. But when we're talking about a space adventure to save the Earth from an alien dictatorship where the Nazi parallels could not be more obvious if they put a mustache on Dessler, it's coming at you a lot more straightforward than how Reinhardt's charisma is designed to contrast with the nightmare of the FPA's democracy and to make the audience wonder if they'd be okay with a benevolent dictatorship. These are shows that are trying to achieve wildly different things, both in their stories and in how they should be consumed by the audience. And it's cool to see how that in turn changes the way that we engage with their adaptations. The original Legend of the Galactic Heroes is my definitive way to watch that epic. And you can learn far more about why over in my section of AA5. But the new space battleship Yamato is the best way to appreciate that voyage. And because by the end you'll be singing along with me and the rest of the cast, Uchu Senkan Yamato. Ba-ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da.